going out there? It's your boy Larry coming to you again with another Blazing Sports Report. As we know, yesterday was a great day again in the NFL. We had upsets, the Cardinals pulling off the upset against the 49ers. We also had some back and forth between, well, early on anyway, between the Jags and the Bucks. I have to bring that up because I have a lot of Bucks fans here in Orlando. But the two marquee games that stood out to me more than anything were, of course, the Giants and Cowboys and the Broncos and the Bears. Now, we all know that this Giants-Cowboys game was basically going to decide who was going to take first place in the division. And I will admittedly say that I stopped watching the game with about 5 minutes left because it seemed like the Cowboys had it wrapped up. I mean, the way that the team was playing was just incredible. But in typical Cowboys fashion, the Cowboys found a way to shoot themselves in the foot, if you will. Let's see. We got, as the Giants were driving down the field, it seems that, Eli had a little groove going. The Cowboys finally got a stop that made him cough the ball up, caused the fumble and everything. But you get the offsides called against you, which negates it, gives them extra yardage, gives them a free play. Not only that, but after the Giants scored on that play, we also had the wide open Miles Austin play. I don't know how you miss a man that wide open coming down the field or what have you, but it just seems like, I don't know whether it was because of the hamstring, I don't know whether it was wrong or overthrowing him, I don't know what the plan was, but when you look at what happened in that game, it just seemed like the Giants found the will and they took away the Cowboys' will. Jerry Jones is pissed. You know that the critics are going to ride them hard. You know that everything is going to come back as to whether or not Tony Romo can get the job done. And I honestly can't put all this squarely on Tony Romo's shoulders, but at the same time, the Cowboys got to find a way to win these games. I mean, last week against the Cardinals, there was a stupid play with them calling timeout on their own kicker and stuff. I don't understand how you do that. And then this week, Tom Coughlin pulled the same thing against the Cowboys and calling a timeout on the Cowboys kickers. And then hence we have the end result, the ice kicker thing is now making its way into the NFL. We know it always happens in college. They'll burn every timeout as possible to try to ice the kicker. But I don't blame Tom Coughlin because it worked. It worked. Bailey made the first one after the timeout was called. They had to re-kick it, and then you get the block kick. And in result, the Giants pull off the comeback and knock off the Cowboys. Now we move on to the Broncos and the Bears, and it seems like that Tim Tebow is poised to never lose another game. Call it what you will. There's no explanation for it. Broncos Nation is going crazy. They've won 6 in a row. Tim Tebow has just become, I don't want to use the term, but he's become Jesus, if you will, in the NFL. I mean, the man is pulling out wins literally out of nowhere. I don't understand it. I don't want to understand it. I don't care how it's being done. But this much I will say. On that last drive going down the field to set up the game-time field goal, Tim Tebow looked like an NFL quarterback. And I'm going on the record as saying that I've never said that Tim Tebow would be an NFL quarterback, but the poise and patience that he showed in the pocket on that last drive of the game to set up the game-time field goal was by far very impressive to me. Now, granted, there was at one point he completed 10 passes in a row, which is very impressive, but you also got to remember it was on a soft defensive coverage where they give up the middle of the field. Everybody knows you take what they give you. But at the same time, the man made some accurate throws, especially the touchdown and late to give them, bring them within 3 to Maris Thomas in the corner. Now, he should have had 2 touchdown passes because Thomas dropped one going down the middle of the field. Tim Tebow put it right where it needed to be, but it was just a little bit out of the man's reach. But they always say you get your hands on the ball, you got to make the catch. But when it comes to Tim Tebow, because this is what it's all going to go around. No one's going to credit the late fumble calls by the Broncos. No one's going to talk about the management on the Broncos' part. They're always going to come back to Tim Tebow. And this is my honest take on Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow will be the man in Denver from this point forward. It doesn't make sense for the man to come from behind so many times and still get as many wins as he does. I mean, the man is what now? 6-1 as a starter, 7-1. I can't remember. I believe it is 7-1. They won 6 straight. They lost. Yeah, 7-1 as a starter this season. And the man, he doesn't turn the ball over. He makes the right plays at the right time. There were times he didn't have a play. He threw the ball away when he needed to. He got the players who needed the ball where they needed to get it, and he managed the game very well for a quarterback. Now, a lot of people will say, well, it was against the Bears. I mean, the Bears aren't good. The Bears still have a great defense. That's one thing you can't take away from the Bears. Sure, the offensive side has suffered with Cutler being gone for probably the rest of the season. Forte is done for the rest of the season. But the defense hasn't changed. And the defense, it was a defensive game all throughout until, and it finished out as a defensive game. But your boy Tim Tebow, and whenever you talk about Tim Tebow, you have to say the name Tim Tebow. It's not just Tebow. You have to say Tim Tebow, because if you don't, it's like disrespecting the man at this point. I've never been a fan of Tim Tebow. I never will be a fan of Tim Tebow. But I can't discredit what the man is doing in Denver. John Elway would be idiotic if he lets this man go. If he drafts another quarterback this coming NFL draft, it comes down to this: whether or not you want production on the field or off the field. Tim Tebow will give you that. Off the field, the man has got the best-selling jersey in the NFL, one of the best-selling jerseys in the NFL. That fan base in Denver is right behind him. People all over tuning in. You got networks wanting to get the man's games on TV because they know the man is something special. This kind of football player doesn't come around very often. We actually have something that the NFL can talk about. If the NFL wanted to, they can market the league around Tim Tebow right now. That's how popular this man is right now. And the debates that go on, we've seen it on ESPN First Take. We've seen it on NFL Countdown. We've seen it on the Fox Sports Countdown shows. We've seen it on CBS. We've seen it on NFL Network. No matter where you go, the prime topic of discussion is always going to be Tim Tebow. So right now, Tebow Mania is taking over. I mean, we remember on Sports Nation, Hulk Hogan called him out. Ever since Hulk Hogan called him out, Tim Tebow has been shutting him down. So I don't care what you're going to say right now, but Hulk Hogan, what you going to do when Tebow Mania runs wild on you? That's all I got to say about that. It's happening right now. It's going to continue to happen. And everybody is waiting for that loss. Everyone is waiting for that loss so they can go ahead and criticize, oh, this is what Tim Tebow didn't do. This is what caused him to lose the game. But all I got to say is, as long as Tim Tebow is healthy and on that field, I don't think they'll ever lose another game as it stands right now, because there's something special going on with this man. I don't know how they shouldn't have won that game, but they did. Tim Tebow pulled another one out. And from this point on, I think that Denver Broncos have to be seriously considered one of the up-and-coming teams in the league. I'm not going to call them one of the best teams in the league, but you got a young defense. You got a young offense. All this team can do is continue to go around each other, and hopefully, if Tim Tebow does stay intact in the Denver uniform, that team will continue to thrive. Denver will consider to be probably one of the most profitable teams in the NFL, considering who they have to build around. Those are the two games in the NFL that really stood out in my opinion, because one, we had a division rivalry going on. It was a good game. Eli pulled one out. Granted, it wasn't the best pass performance that the man has had, but he still pulled it out. The Cowboys shot themselves in the foot yet again. I don't know how many chances you can give this team, but if I'm the Dallas Cowboys, I'm looking at investing in something, because right now it's not getting the job done. On another note, we got the Packers still undefeated. They manhandled Oakland. New England, they gutted out a win against the Redskins. I don't know how that happened, but at the same time, when you look at their New England team, that secondary is going to continue to give up yards, going to continue to give up points. New England needs to find a way to shut down opposing offenses, especially through the passing game. But you got to give hats off to Rob Gronkowski, the man that's became the single season record holder for touchdowns by tight end, and it's only going to continue to grow as the season progresses. who else played? I can't even remember. Baltimore was dominant. San Francisco had a hiccup against the Cardinals. Congratulations to Larry Fitzgerald breaking records as well. It was a great week in the NFL. Here's the next week. Hopefully, it's just as good. Maybe we can get some more Tebow magic. This Larry Jenkins is my NFL recap. Top two games, in my opinion. Those are the most memorable games, in my opinion. I'll holler at you. Peace.